Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and man, we got a video to talk about tonight. According to ESPN's Woj, Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz could potentially be looking for a trade to send him elsewhere. Now, this is pretty crazy because Woj tweeted like 2 weeks ago or something like that the Utah Jazz are trying to build around Donovan Mitchell, that he's not looking like they're going to trade him away. And then all of a sudden, Woj tweets that the Utah Jazz are showing a willingness to listen on possible trade scenarios involving star Donovan Mitchell. And then we get a tweet from Tony Jones. Expect the New York Knicks to quickly try and put together a package for Donovan Mitchell, according to league sources. Utah's bar for trading Mitchell is sky high, but the Knicks are the team that has the assets to make this a conversation. So this report came out like 3 or 4 hours ago, and unfortunately I was not home. I was kind of like itching. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make a video on this. I gotta get home as soon as possible. I'm officially home now, so I know I'm a little late to the party. I'm late to the news, but you guys already know any news, any rumors about the New York Knicks, I'll be giving you guys my thoughts of that here on Knicks Media. So before we hop into my thoughts, I just want to mention if you guys can help me out to get the 10K subscribers, we're inching close. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to thumbs it up. And most importantly, do not forget to comment down below your thoughts of this report. Do you want the New York Knicks to go all in for Donovan Mitchell? Who are the players you're willing to sacrifice to get Donovan Mitchell to the New York Knicks? If so, let me know down below in the comments. Or do you feel like the Knicks should not trade for Donovan Mitchell? He's not worth the asking price, because you know that the Utah Jazz are going to be asking for a lot in return for Donovan Mitchell. So please comment down below your thoughts, whether you want the Knicks to trade for him or not. Love to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comments. Now let's get into my thoughts about this. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you know that I am a pretty big fan of Donovan Mitchell. I am a Mets fan. Donovan Mitchell's a huge Mets fan. He's from New York. It just felt like Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks was inevitable in my mind, in terms of just me having that fantasy. I'm like, okay, Donovan Mitchell, when his contract is up, or maybe we can trade for him in the future. Leon Rose comes here, you know, the CAA. We all know that there were some ties connected to Donovan Mitchell, and we saw what the Utah Jazz was doing this past season, and then they've traded away Rudy Gobert, and then there's a lot of ties. Can the Knicks get it done? And we see what the Knicks have been doing the past couple of off seasons. It felt like they're kicking the can down the road. They're acquiring assets for the future in order to build ammunition, in order to afford a star if they become available in the trade market. Now, this is their opportunity to do just that. Their roster is looking a lot better than last year in terms of on paper going into the season, but it's not a roster that Knicks fans are looking at and thinking like, oh, we're going to be a contender this year. Oh, we're going to go all the way this year. Now, anything can happen. I don't want to put a ceiling on this team, but what I'm trying to say is it feels like the Knicks front office has positioned themselves in a perfect situation to be able to be aggressive if a star becomes available. Well, here you go, Leon Rose and the New York Knicks. Donovan Mitchell is available, and it makes way too much sense to bring him to the New York Knicks. You got to get it done. Now, the big question is, what is the trade package that the Utah Jazz are going to be looking for? I'll say this right out of the gate. RJ Barrett, he's going nowhere. I do not want RJ Barrett to be included in this trade package for this reason alone. RJ Barrett is the first draft pick that we've took in the top of the first round, or even the first round in general, that I have confidence to become the face of the franchise. And number two, you don't trade for Donovan Mitchell and give up RJ Barrett, and then who's going to be with Donovan? The whole idea of trading for Mitchell is to pair him up with RJ Barrett and pair him up with the young players that we have on the roster. Now, if we can get Donovan Mitchell without giving up RJ Barrett, that is exactly what I want to happen. But if the Utah Jazz are asking for RJ in the deal, that's where it gets a little complicated for me personally. I'm not saying that RJ Barrett is a better player than Donovan Mitchell. I'm not saying that I think he's going to become a better player than him. But you trade for a star to package him up with the young player on your squad. We do not want to have that, you know, situation where we trade our entire roster for a star, and then all of a sudden the star is here with the Knicks and he doesn't have any help around him. So what I'm trying to say is, if the Knicks can get a deal done with the Utah Jazz, they have so much draft capital in order to sacrifice for this guy. They can give up 4 first-round picks if they wanted to. Hell, they can give up 5 first-round picks. We have so much draft capital to the point where it's okay. But the big question is, who are some players that could be involved? Julius Randle. Julius Randle could definitely be involved in a trade package for Donovan Mitchell, in my opinion. If if you package in Julius Randle, you know, he has a big contract. Donovan Mitchell has a big contract. That would help out the financial aspect of things. And I feel like the Jazz are not going to just want Julius Randle if they're even interested in him. They're going to want a young player. Are they going to want Quentin Grimes? Are they going to want Quickly? Are they going to want Cam Reddish? Are they going to want Deuce McBride? Are they going to want somebody else on this roster? The problem with trading for a star, guys, is you got to give up something pretty significant in order to bring that star to the Knicks. Now, my big question is, what are those players that the Utah Jazz are asking for? If I'm the Knicks, I would offer like 3 or 4 first-round picks, Julius Randle. You know, it's really hard because I don't know who I want to trade away. Like, if we can get Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks and I see the trade package and I can react to it live, that's different. But to me, I don't want to give up on any of these players on the roster. But at the end of the day, you can't get Donovan Mitchell without giving up on these young players on the roster. I would prefer not to move Quickly. I would prefer not to move Obi, and I would prefer not to move RJ Barrett. If we could hold on to those 3 players and still get Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks, that would be a home run. I love Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes, you guys are watching my videos of the Summer League, I'm assuming. You know I'm all in on Quentin Grimes. But if Grimes has to be included in that package for Donovan Mitchell, that might be the player that the Utah Jazz are going to want in a trade package. Not saying I don't believe in Quentin Grimes, not saying I want to trade him away at all. But the reality is you're not getting a star like Donovan Mitchell without giving up the young players, a couple young players on this young core that the Knicks fans have fell in love with, like Grimes, like Quickly, like Obi. And I'll say it again, RJ, you're not going anywhere, buddy. Please do not trade RJ Barrett, because that man is on a trajectory to become the face of this franchise. And you guys could disagree with me, and that's totally okay. That's just my opinion and how I feel about RJ and how I feel about the whole scenario of trading for a star and packaging that star for a player that star needs to have help next to him. We do not want to trade our entire team, trade RJ, trade another young player and a bunch of draft picks, and then it's just Donovan Mitchell, and like we don't really have a good roster around him to support him. But look at this potential starting lineup. Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson. I would absolutely love that. Now, can we get Donovan Mitchell without giving up Julius Randle? Is that possible? I don't know. That means we're probably going to give up on Obi Toppin. I think it's either one of Randle or Obi Toppin in this trade scenario. I don't think we're going to be able to get Donovan without giving up one of those two. And I know that a lot of Knicks fans would definitely prefer to give up on Julius Randle because of, you know, the season last year. They prefer to Obi Toppin to get that starting gig, and I am all in on Obi Toppin. I feel like if Obi Toppin gets the opportunity to be a starting power forward in this league, he's only going to take off. We saw that last year at the end of the season when Julius Randle went down with an injury and Obi Toppin was gifted his starting opportunity. He took off. So now we do not know if the Knicks are going to be aggressive in this. We don't know if these rumors and reports are even true, but you know that I'm going to be making a video on this report because the Knicks are linked to the Utah Jazz and Donovan Mitchell, according to Tony Jones, and according to Woj, the Utah Jazz are picking up the phone and they're talking to teams. This is your time, Leon Rose. You got to get on the phone and be aggressive and bring Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks. It makes way too much sense. He's a native New Yorker. He's a diehard Mets fan. I know that's not a big deal to some of you guys. Some of you guys are not even baseball fans, or some of you guys are Yankees fans, but you can agree that Donovan Mitchell has that New York root in him. He is a passionate New York Mets fan. That's pretty sick. And if he comes to the Knicks, it just makes way too much sense in my opinion. And we didn't even get to talk about Donovan Mitchell as a player. I mean, Donovan Mitchell as a player, we know what he brings to the table. He's an ascending player as well. He's not like he's hit his prime, in my opinion. He's only 25 years old. So it's not like we're trading for a veteran that's like, you know, at the tail end of his career. We're trading for a player that's entering the prime of his career, that is a star in this league, that has shown that he can play very well at the next level and play well in the playoffs and do a lot of great things for the Utah Jazz. You know, I think the Knicks got to go all in. They've done all these trades the past couple of seasons to lead up to this moment. Get it done. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Like the video if you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let's go Knicks. Peace out.